Hi guys, I'm Joanna and today I invite you to the new video about Cthulhu Call of Madness by Chaha Games. In a moment you can see how to play on this board game. Each player takes one player board and puts it in front of them. Next, each player takes cultist tokens. 3 tokens with value 10, 2 tokens with value 5, 3 tokens with value 3, and 1 token with value 1. This is your cultist army. Then, put all madness markers inside the bag. Now each player draws one random madness marker and puts on the player board in their madness pool. Each player randomly chooses one setup card. This card shows starting setup, so now players take investigator tokens depicted on the card and place them on their player boards as indicated on the setup card. Tokens should be placed with black hearth in the bottom. This is starting level of Life the Investigator. Whenever new investigator is put on the player board, put madness marker or madness markers on its tile. The number depends on the time of day. Draw 1 madness marker for each investigator during day and 2 madness markers during night. The rest of investigator tokens must be shuffled. They form the draw pile. Place these tokens face down near to the player's board on the table. Now prepare gods. Shuffle power cards and randomly choose and put face up 4 of them in the middle of the table. Now take all matching god cards and shuffle them separately for each god. Then put them face up below matching power card. All unused cards put back to the box. For this gameplay, you will not need them. Now it's time to choosing the starting player. It will be the last person to make a sacrifice. This player takes time token and places them in front of themselves with their side up. Before you start the game, you have to prepare priests. Each player takes 4 basic cards with the same character name. Starting with last player, counterclockwise, each player chooses 1 god card from 4 visible. The cost god card you can see on the upper right corner. So now each player pays its cost by discarding cultist tokens. So now each player has 5 cards. Shuffle all and put them face down on their board. This is your draw deck. Then each player draws 3 cards. Finally, each player takes 1 miniature with his character and for now put out it beside player board. For each player are player 8. If you play in 3 or 4 player game, you have to set up goal cards. So each player deal 3 endgame goal cards and choose 2 from them. Put them on their player board face down and discard the remaining card to the box. Shuffle the immediate goal cards and place them face down in the draw pile within easy reach of all players. And now, put top 3 goal cards face up so everyone can see them. Put all remaining tokens near to the player's board. Now you are ready to start the game. Cthulhu Call of Madness is played in rounds. There are 3 phases each round. Preparation phase, headquarters defense phase, and investigators phase. In the first round of the game, preparation phase is skipped, so players start with a headquarters defense phase. Starting with the player with the time token and going clockwise, each player takes their turn, during which they can play a main action, play 1 card or pass. Additionally, each player can take no limit of additional actions. Player can take actions 1 by 1. So, as you know, one of main action is play 1 card from your hand. After that, you have to choose 1 set of actions for that card and resolve them in any order you want. But you must know that each action for the set has to be taken on different targets. What that means? You cannot attack and then move the same investigator in 1 turn. Now look at the symbols on the cards. The fist symbol is an attack. The attack powers is always indicated by the number next to the symbol. While reducing or increasing investigators' health level, player needs to rotate their tails, so actual health level is always on the bottom. If investigators' health level is decreased to 0, they are defeated. The player whose board the investigator is on takes all the madness markers from the investigator token and adds them to their madness pool. When madness marker symbol is marked on the investigator tail, it means that after defeating him, player receives one additional random madness marker from the bag. After that, put defeated investigator token to the box. Shoe symbol indicates that the selected investigator can be moved. The value next to the symbol indicates how many spaces they can be moved. The investigator can only be moved horizontally or vertically in any direction. Diagonal movements is forbidden. This ritual symbol allows me to the top god card from any god pile. You have to pay its cost by discarding value of your cultist tokens indicated on the card. Then the new card goes to your hand. And after that, move your character miniature to the power card belonging to the god you bought a card from. Your miniature is active and you will be able to use the action on this card to use additional actions. There can be more than one player miniature on one player card. Players do not block this place from each other. Next symbol, player cultist or other player cultist. Green is your cultist and red is other player cultist. This symbol means that you can draw or discard a cultist token. Strength symbol allows you add as many health to any investigator as indicated on the value next to the symbol. This is called its destroy symbol, and you can defeat any investigator. The 10th represents the investigator's outpost. You can add it onto opponent boards or remove it from your player's board. Each outpost in the game must be placed in an empty space, but not in one of the top 3 outposts. This is marked on each player's board. This symbol is fire, so you may add a fire token to your opponent's boards or discard it from your player board. In preparation phase, if players have fire tokens, lose 1 cultist per 1 token during day and 2 cultists per 1 token during night. So it is better to discard these tokens than to add them. Some of the sets have an additional cost. If you want to choose that set, you need to discard madness markers from your madness pool. If on any set is an icon night, it means that this set can be chosen only during the night round. If at the bottom on the card is some action, the player can use it when you use this card. You should remember that all actions can be taken on any player board, not only on your board. Whenever you cannot or doesn't want to play a card, you have to pass. Your round is over. First player to pass, take the time token. Do not change the side. Now other players have played one more turn for free. If they want to continue playing their turns, they need to discard 1 madness marker for each played turns. When all players have passed, the phase is over. As you remember, each turn players can take no limit of additional actions. So what additional actions can you take on your turn? When you discarded 2 madness markers from your madness pool, you could remove Outposts from your player board. You can pay for this additional action by discarding cultist token with total value of 2. Another additional action is to use the active character's miniature. So knock over your miniature and use the effect of the power card it is currently on. Effects differ depending on the time of the day. During your turn, you can discarding madness marker with chosen color and draw 1 card from your deck, or put the top card from your discard pile on the bottom of your deck, or put the top card on each god's deck on the bottom of the pile. There's one more option, but you can use it only 1 per turn. You can achieve any face-up goal cards. New goal card is drawn from the goals pile. If the draw pile is exhausted, skip refilling the space. Now you know all 4 additional actions. Player can take any number of additional actions during their turn. When all players end their turn, investigator phase begins. The investigator's phase has 2 steps. The first is movement of the investigators around each player's board. The second step of the investigator phase is adding outposts. So, players move all investigators on their board 1 space toward their headquarters, I mean down. Investigators skip the space with outposts. They just jump over them. On each space, there can be only 1 investigator. When investigators enter the headquarters, players must resolve effects of madness markers that were on the investigator tile. In the case of a green marker, player must put 1 outpost onto their player board. Blue marker means that investigator gains +3 strength. This means that this investigator kills an additional 3 of your cultists. When there is red marker, player must add 1 fire token to their headquarters. Second step on this phase is adding new outpost onto players' boards. The players check the level of intensity of their cult. For each 3 cards in player's discard pile, player add 1 outpost to their board. The result is rounded up. As you remember, it should be placed on a free space but not 3 top ones. If there is no free space for additional outposts, the player discards cultist tokens with a total value of 2 instead for every outpost he cannot place. Now, after adding the outposts, each player shuffles their discard piles and puts them underneath their deck. When the player has no deck, they create it from shuffled cards from discard pile. This is the only chance a player can create a deck. When a player runs out of cards in the headquarters defense phase, he cannot create a new draw deck. Now, players start next round. First is preparation phase. It consists of 4 steps. Now the player with the time token flips it over. Next step, resolving only players that have fire tokens in their players' boards. They lose 1 cultist per 1 fire token during the day and 2 cultists per 1 fire token during night. In next step this phase, each player draws 1 card from their deck. After that, refresh your miniatures. Just put all the character miniatures upright if they were knocked over. If not, they just stay on that card. And finally, each player draws 3 investigator tokens and adds them to the top 3 spaces on their player board. And if it's day, for each investigator, draw 1 madness marker from the back and put them on token. If it's night, you can draw 2 madness markers from the back. Next, all players sum up health level of newly added investigators. Player with the highest result draws 1 madness marker from the back and adds it to their madness pool. In case of the tie, all tie players draw madness marker. Game ends immediately when 1 player has no more cultist tokens in their headquarters. Now, all players reveal their remaining cultist tokens and count the points. They score points for completed goal cards and add the number of left cultists. The player with the most points is the winner of the game. Thank you guys for your attention. If you like this video, it will be awesome if you leave a thumb up and join to my subscribers. See you next time. Bye bye!